Watch, but trigger warning. Violent anger towards pronouns.
Yeah, and rightfully so. In case you guys are unaware of the video he's referring to, it's basically a clip from Heel vs. Babyface's stream. And he basically goes on a rant about how Starfield is filled with modern politics, modern identity politics, and the use of pronouns in the game. Now, before I get into it and start explaining why this rant is very much justified, I highly recommend you actually go watch the video. It's not very long, so your TikTok brain might be able to handle it. Okay, so let's get into it. Basically, this very justified rant starts with him talking about how the use of pronouns and modern identity politics completely breaks the immersion in this game. Now, if you know anything about Bethesda games, they're basically big open world games most of the time, and they're very known for having incredibly immersive things in them. He basically states that by the game using the use of pronouns, it completely takes him out of it and it brings it back to the real world, because to him, and to like many other people, playing video games is an escape from the real world. And I completely understand where he's coming from. You know, the use of pronouns or gender ambiguity with certain characters is completely immersion breaking. Now, another reason why he's very justified in saying this is because he's the consumer in this. He's the one who paid $80 to play this game, and he's the one who paid even more than that to play the game early. And yet again, this is just another case of companies trying to appeal to audiences that don't exist, because I can't believe I have to say this, the people who use those weird pronouns or those who use weird gender ambiguity to define themselves don't typically play video games. He basically just continues to rant with how everything he likes gets ruined, okay? And I've been watching this YouTuber for about 2.5 years now, so I completely understand where he's coming from, and I very much sympathize with his point of view. For example, nowadays, a Superman comic won't be about truth, justice, in the American way like it used to be. It'll be about his son being gay or whatever. And the Captain America comic won't be about him punching commies in the face. It'll most likely be him embracing commie ideas. Now this brings me to want to talk about how Japanese media doesn't do these things, and would much rather prioritize telling good stories and making good games in order to appeal to an audience that doesn't exist. Which is why anime, manga, and all Japanese games are doing incredibly well right now, and Marvel and DC Comics and all Western media will absolutely never catch up to that and never live up to that. All because they've completely tarnished what Western media is and what it means to us. An American comic in the year 2023 will absolutely not be about hope or anything positive. But from what I hear, in Japan, anime, manga, and all that shit will always be about, you know, trying to progress through struggle, which is like the main trope in those like animes with like where main characters are kids. And let's be honest, that's the message we want kids to understand these days. Not that they could be any gender they want. I know I'm going on my own little rant here, but I just really had to get these thoughts out because people don't seem to realize the importance of this. I'm just going to end this video showing something about Spider-Man 2, the PS5 video game, a piece of news about it that came out a couple months ago, something that may be similar to what we see in Starfield right now. So, this is Western media in 2023, its final form. Look at that. They apologize for making Spider-Man pro-cop and have made changes to the sequel. Now, I don't think I need to explain how bad this is and how much it goes against Spider-Man as a character and how that could affect the story and how they could include their own identity politics similar to Starfield. You get the idea. So the reason I included that piece of information was basically just to show you guys how nothing you like is safe. It'll always be affected by this Western woke ideology shit. And basically, all you have to do is keep your expectations low for certain things. And of course, maybe don't pre-order. Wait for reviews. Find people you trust to make reviews. Watch those reviews once the game's out. And then come up with your own conclusions if you want to spend that $80. Or in this case, if you live in Canada, $89. And the same thing goes for GTA 6. That game is absolutely not safe. We still don't know anything about it. It could very well include this shit. After all, it will have a female character. A female main character.